All right, so TypeScript report style checks as warnings. So report style checks as warnings, and you can set this to true or false, and by default this is true. So by default VS Code will report TypeScript style checks as warnings instead of errors, which is what the TypeScript compiler does. So let me show you this working. So we have a little, actually let me remove this one. Okay, so we have this little testing repository here, and we have an index.ts file, and we have an unused variable right here, right? So it's declared but not used. And it took me quite a while to figure this out. It turns out that if you don't have an export there, so if you don't make this into a module, that error does not show up because this variable is considered to be, well, in fact is in the global scope. But if you set this as an export function, making this into a module, then that variable there is really useless, right? Because you're not exporting it. Okay, so this becomes an unused variable. And if you set this to false, you won't immediately see the results. This setting needs a reload. So if you reload, we see it as an error. And also, you can also see the problems tab. You'll have it has an error, or if you have it in its default state and reload, you will have it as a warning. I do find the warning to be more useful than the error. So because it's a style issue, right? So even though the TypeScript compiler reports this as an error, VS Code is cool enough to transform those errors, those specific errors, into warnings.